The 2025 F102 Live was very, very cringy. To say the least, I feel like it was kind of cringy. The music was cringy. The jokes were very cringy. The thing that all the F1 fans came for was the car reveals, and they were okay, but like not too many of the liveries changed really. So it's always cool to see an event for new Formula One cars, just as a Formula One fan, because of course you want to see as much content as possible. But I just feel like there has to be a better way for us to introduce this content, because the problem that F1 has is that obviously we see now what they really want, or what the elites want at least, is some type of award show, because that's kind of what the atmosphere was for the unveiling of the cars. But the problem with a motorsport is that like it goes by points, and points are public, and the championship is public, and like it's easily monitored, it's easily watched. Like you know who's winning before the season is over most of the time. And even if you don't, at the very least you know who's winning at the last race of the season. So there's no point of an award show because everyone already knows who won. So like you can't exactly have a award show because nobody's gonna watch it, because we already know who won weeks ago when we watched the race, or the race is. And so with that dilemma, then you move to something like this where they want a big event for all of their drivers, all of their execs, all of the sponsors, everybody to come together and make one big showing of everything. And so the only thing that you can really do that with at that point is the cars. And so I'm trying to think of another way that you could do that. And the only thing I could really think of, because that just doesn't really work. I don't know if it worked for y'all, but it didn't really work for me. It's nice to have an event to watch F1, but something like that it's just cringy, and like it's long for no reason. Like it shouldn't take an hour or two for me to watch every car reveal their liveries, especially if they're all basically the same. And like nobody's telling them they should change up all of their liveries, because for one, it's the last season of it's the last season of these regulations. So like there's no point of you just changing everything right now drastically and not knowing. It's paint, so most of the time it's not going to affect your car unless you're just making it super heavy, but you never know. So like there's no point of just throwing away your whole thing for the look of your car. But like, I don't know. The only thing I could think of that could really replace something like that is if you did like a show like this for driver lineups, maybe. But then like, that's also going to be, I'm not going to say impossible, because I think it would be possible maybe for teams to keep their driver lineup secret for the entirety of a year. But at the same time, nah, because that's going to leak somewhere. Somebody in the team is going to find out who's signing, and that's going to come out, and it's just going to ruin if you were to try to do a show like that. So the only other thing I can really think of is you have to do something like this this is something that, in my opinion, should only be done like a F102 live, or where if they change the location or whatever, an F1 event where you reveal cars and their liveries should only be done every regulation change, in my opinion. Like, because that's the only time that the look, so to speak, of a car is going to change to a casual viewer's eye. Like, yeah, if you're a real fan of Formula One, you can tell that McLaren changed their side pods to more conventional side pods like the other teams have been running for the last couple years, and like you can tell the little bitty differences of a car. But I don't think it's enough to get true viewer garnership over like casual fans. Like a little kid is not going to be able to sit there, or an old elderly person is not going to be able to sit there, or somebody that's not a big, like if you couldn't, well, maybe you could, but like I guess this is more pertaining to American viewership, because that's kind of my better, what's the word? I'm more suited to speak on that than I can of European viewership, because as an American who loves Formula One, who only has one friend that really also watches Formula One, and even that friend is not necessarily that deep into it like that. He's deep into it, but he's like, we both started with Drive to Survive, and so like now I've become very deep into it, but most American Formula One fans are essentially Drive to Survive fans. And so trying to get your trying to get other people around you into that, or trying to get an American demographic, is gonna be tough for a show like that, because for like an award type of show like they did, or like a unveilment, whatever you want to call it, because ain't nobody can sit there and watch that. Like I'm not gonna be able to tell my girlfriend, hey babe, let's watch the F1 live reveal of the cars. Like, she gonna be bored. As soon as they bring out the kick Sauber and she see the green car and she say, who are these people? And me, myself, I can barely tell her who these people are, because Joe and Bottas no longer at the team, and now it's two rookies that I really don't know too much about that might be fast, but I have really no idea who they are, or the team principal, or anything they really got going. She gonna tune out. Like, I might be able to bring her back with Carlos Sainz and Albon and James Vowles, just because Williams is, I don't know. I can't even say any more interesting. But like, there's 20 teams. There's 20 teams, 2 drivers for each team principal. No casual viewer is gonna be able to sit there and watch all of that for an hour, 30 minutes, or 2 hours, however long it took, with little bitty cheeky jokes in the middle, because they're not gonna understand the jokes. Like, it's like if I didn't listen to music, or I don't watch movies, and somebody told me sit down and watch the Grammys or watch the Oscars. I'd be sitting there like, bro, what? I don't know what's going on. I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know nothing, because I'm confused, because I don't watch this. This is not my cup of tea. So in order to pull a more casual viewer, I feel like that's something that should be done every 6 years, or however often the regulations change. And so, like, then that way you could actually see different looking cars. Like, yeah, they're still not going to be that different to casual eyes, but they're going to be more different than 2024 car to 2025 car. Like, to even to me, half of them cars look the exact same, and I like genuinely understand the basics and build up of a Formula One car. I understand how to look at side pods and see differences there, or how to see difference in, especially in this form of car, because everything's kind of aero driven. And so while most of that is under the car, there are still small tweaks to different things on the side of the car, or different stuff in the halo, or whatever, not the halo, but like around the car, that you can tell is different and changes the aero. Like, you're not going to be able to really see it, because half of the teams probably ain't even bring their real car out there. They probably pulled a fake car, or like a prototype car or something like that, just so you can have something to unveil, and they can go back and change stuff before the Bahrain testing, or wherever they test that. And they definitely gonna change it before Australia. So like, I don't know, but that just wasn't, it was cringy to me. I don't feel like that's something that you can spend that much money on year after year after year after year and come up with a positive viewership result. Like, yeah, you're gonna get the interaction as far as social media goes, and I guess that's really all that matters nowadays, is social media. But I feel like you got that same oh, never mind. As I'm talking myself through this, I'm understanding why they did this. Because, so the main thing you're gonna get, because it was streaming on YouTube, so nobody's really watching it anywhere else. So what you're getting is viewership. And so before those interactions, whenever the teams would all release their car whenever they wanted to, it wasn't like this week. I remember Ferrari used to do this on Valentine's Day every year. But when the teams would all release their cars when they wanted to, and put the pictures of them up and everything, you got to think about it like this. All of the interactions on those posts, from when Ferrari would do it, Red Bull, McLaren, day to day, and it would go like that little week or that little 2-week span where teams were revealing their cars. All of the interactions, the comments, the likes, the shares, everything was going to those prospective teams. And so those teams are getting that interaction, and they're getting the money from that publicity that goes into the reveals. So F1 and probably the FIA or whoever had to step in and bring it all into one spot, so they could get the viewership and they could get the interaction from all of those different posts. Because now it's all at an F1 sponsored event, versus it just being a Ferrari event where they reveal their car, or a Red Bull event where they reveal their car, an Aston Martin event. Now they're all in one specific place. And so now they get all of that. So like, I don't know. But the highlights, there weren't that many highlights. It seemed awkward. It seemed very awkward. The jokes were kind of bad to me. Charles was cringing for like a lot of the jokes and stuff. They kept being really weird to my boy Charles Leclerc. Like, like, I don't know. Like, I get it. Like, it's girls watching, so you gotta like kind of talk about his looks and kind of make fun of him. Not make fun, but like kind of, you know what I'm saying? Give him little jokes about his looks and him looking good or whatever you want to call it. But like, it's just weird. Like, imagine being Charles Leclerc and nobody saying nothing about your race, and the whole time you there, all they doing is talking about your eyes and how pretty you are and how, yeah, I want to make love to you when I get like, what? Y'all weird. Like, that was strange to me. He was cringing for a lot of it. He tried to drink his water, so y'all stop talking to that man. When you, the rule of comedy is that if somebody look away from you while you trying to tell a joke about them, after that joke, you're not supposed to say nothing else about them because clearly they are uncomfortable. And he did it 100 times, and they kept going at my boy because they don't have nothing else to talk about. Like, that's the only thing you can really joke of for a casual F1 fan is the looks of the drivers and how good the drivers look and whether they short or tall. Like, come on, bro. That's not, F1 isn't really a sport where you can have like a real glamorous type of event. Like, it's cars. At the end of the day, it's cars. Like, I don't know. And then Williams brought out their driver lineup and had 100 other drivers with him, like John Cena getting ready to run to the ring when he had all the people lined up. Like, I guess they doing auditions or something for whenever Carlos eventually leaves, or I don't know what's going on. But that was just, the event itself was cringy. My favorite part really was Carlos saying he might seem smooth operator in front of the whole arena, because like, I mean, I guess that is their first time in an arena like that. But like, at the same time, I just don't see a point. Like, other than getting F1 itself as a page or itself as a corporation more money and more viewer garnership. But like, you're going to get that anyway at the beginning of the season. So like, I don't see the point. Other than, I guess it's just another money hungry grab from F1, which I shouldn't be surprised at by this point. If you look at ticket prices, if you look at merch prices, if you look at how F1 seems to run their company. And I mean, I guess it is what it is. I just wish they would kind of cater to more long-term fans and more fans in general and start trying to make it such a bougie business. Like, it's such a bougie sport. And I guess that kind of classiness or bouginess, whatever you want to call it, around it does make more people want to watch it. But at the same time, it's just like, I don't know, bro. What about the OGs? Like, what about real F1 fans? Like, they don't do nothing really that helps anybody that wants to watch F1 but might not have the money or might not have the resources, I feel like. But yeah, man, that's how I feel about the F102 Cringe Fest, man. Let me know what y'all feel about it in the comments below. Let me know if y'all want me to do a reaction or if y'all want me to do, I was thinking about doing like a little, my predictions for the season or like my driver rankings preseason before everything gets started and stuff, how I feel everything's going to go. So let me know if y'all want to see that, and I get that for y'all. But till next time, bro, we appreciate y'all for watching, bro. It's your boy Willowski. I'm going to see y'all on the next one. Peace.